Welcome to the Bliss Builders podcast, a podcast about mental health
and personal growth
with Kristina
and Sandra Diebel.
Hi everyone, my name is Kristina
And I'm Sandra.
and we are the Bliss Builders. Welcome to our podcast.
Today we decided to choose the topic energy, or let's say our own energy level, as the last day we've seen that Kristina and me have both quite different energy levels, and it's not always the same. Also, my are pending and hers are pending as well, and we thought this is probably something very common, and also to understand your own energy level, what makes you feel energetic and how to get into your full energy. So we thought we will have a little chat about this. So would you like to start and maybe describe our listeners how your energy level is built up and how is your energy?
So what we've noticed in the last couple of weeks is that my energy levels, I know that about myself, but Sandra did get to know me, and that my energy levels fluctuate quite intensely. So I can have like a super high energy level for like a week or two where I get a lot of stuff done, where I'm super highly motivated and on fire, and then I can have weeks where I have literally no energy. And in the last couple of weeks I have been in the no energy phase, which meant that like I was constantly tired, coffee didn't help, and I was not in the mood for anything. And in that phase I could not even get really out of it, because I completely had forgotten what actually gives me energy. And this is also what I wanted to ask you, because like Sandra has a lot of energy, which I admire highly, and she knows it, like seems to know at least exactly what gives her energy and fills her day with a lot of stuff that gives her energy. And I find that a really interesting topic, because I myself, over the last 3 days, I myself have found back to my personal own lists of how I can actually give myself energy. But I've forgotten that because it takes practice. But Sandra seems to have a lot of practice with that.
What I experienced so far also is, like you said, your energy level depends and stays in the same mood for a longer time, for a longer period, I would say. And in between there's maybe a bit more motivation or less. But like the amount of energy, when like I think it's now 1.5 months ago that we started our Bliss building, and I can remember this date quite good, and you were so energetic and like, oh come on, and let's do this and that, and let's do a podcast episode right now. And you started with the posts and everything, and it was, oh, wow, okay, this is maybe even over my energy level, or depending. I think a few days later I was up until 3 a.m. and did our funnel. But I remember this date quite good, and also because of other circumstances and other thing that was into our minds the last couple of weeks as well. The energy was lower, was also fine, and this is also something I think we both know quite good, that it is important to allow ourselves to have both, like having phases where you are high in energy and where it's also fine to push a little bit more and maybe even go a little bit over your boundary, but also to allow yourself to have, and sometimes it's a little bit longer, less energy and be more in a relaxed state or do something else, it makes you feel good and probably energetic as well. So maybe my question is when I was looking, because you asked me this question earlier, what energizes you? And for this podcast, I tried to prepare myself a little bit and really think through. So what also came into my mind was my energy is kind of equal with motivation,
Okay.
I would say. And I will come to this soon, where I found like 3 sectors that are affecting my motivation and my energy. So is it for you completely separate, energy and motivation, or can the motivation give you a high, for example, a short boost in your energy that brings you into maybe like a chain reaction and into a longer energy high?
I don't think so. What I've noticed is I can have high energy levels, but still zero motivation. I will just use my happy and high energy on other things. I can have high levels of motivation, which usually come due to either novelty, because something is new. So I'm super excited because it's new. Urgency, because it needs to get done and the deadline is tomorrow. Yeah, novelty and urgency a lot of the times, or to avoid something else. But that's technically also urgency. So, and then unfortunately, it does not necessarily build momentum, because if I don't enjoy the thing while I'm doing it, then it drains my energy, and then I don't want to do any more afterwards. So, for me, if the thing brings me energy, yeah, then I mean, like, it brings me more energy, so it makes all the following things a little bit easier. But it very much depends on the tasks, and it also helps to have someone else there.
Yeah, that's true. Other people affect us quite a lot, and the mood you're surrounded with, and if everyone, is very energetic and positive, empowered, I personally feel that too, probably because I'm more empathic person. So this mirrors me a little bit, and the other way around. So if you're surrounded by a lot of grumpy people who focus on the negative and everything is shitty and complaining and don't really get into action or are quite lazy around, it's also very draining and breaks down the energy level as well. So
did I answer your question?
So far, yeah, it's and this is one of the interesting things is we align quite good, but in some kinds very different. And so it's very interesting as you're also a very reflected person, so interesting to see what's behind and to understand that and see the differences. So yeah, this was very new to me, like to see someone with such long energy phases. I think I wasn't faced with that before. So like motivation or highs and lows, peaks and lows, definitely. But like these longer phases were new to me. Was it always like that, or did it change?
I would definitely say that like my phases are coming in waves and not daily waves.
I see that.
More like weekly, monthly waves. I mean, within a month, due to also my cycle, because I'm a woman. Due to my cycle, I can have lower lows or higher highs. But the energy levels especially can fluctuate dramatically over longer periods of time. But yeah, it's just how I am. And for myself, I mean, like, that's why, I mean, when I wrote the book and everything, it's fine because I've found ways to work with it. So in phases where I have a lot of energy, I will just get a lot of shit done. And then when, like, basically to prepare for the time, like, kind of seasonal, you know, like back in the day when they would, I mean, like, they just had the summer to get food and then it had to last the winter. So kind of like with the seasons, going with the seasons, there's a season where stuff is born. There's a season where it will be then created, a season where you reap the rewards, and then a season where you kind of have to wait. So I see it like going with the seasons, with my own season. So in my energized and motivated and productive phases, I just try to do as much as I can.
Can you give our listeners some examples? For example, with your book, you already told me, but maybe to tell them.
So with my book, I've decided to write a book. Like, I had written previous stuff before, but for that particular book, it was supposed to become a poetry book, and I had already written poetry, but I just decided that's what I wanted to do. I wanted to create a poetry book. So I wrote poetry every day for, I think, 50 days in a row. That was kind of like the plan. And after that, I was also not motivated anymore because that was one phase. Then I had another phase where I created, well, all the illustrations for those 50 poems. So yeah, 50, I think 52 illustrations, all in 4 days, back to back to back, and did basically nothing else. And then I also had a similar thing, which is probably the most intense and extreme phase I've had, which was I had an idea. So as I said, like urgency, I had an idea to put QR codes in my book so people could watch videos of me. And I had that idea 2 days before publishing date. And I was like, can I make it? And I could make it. So technically 2.5 days, like 2.5
What
days.
would stress everyone, I would say.
Yeah, but like I like if like I can thrive off that.
Like it's so many recommendations in mental health. I would say, yeah, let's say recommendations. I'm looking for the word. Is like, don't push yourself too much and don't stress yourself, and maybe stretch it out. But you did kind of the opposite.
I did not stress myself. I think that's the difference. I did not stress myself. I was like, this is a fucking cool idea. I'm gonna do my best to get it done. As I said, like as fast as possible, as bad as possible, as wrong as possible. Like, who cares? I'm just gonna get it done because I wanted to have it.
Yeah. The goal.
Yeah, and I mean, like, I had that idea on Friday. I scripted 52 videos on Friday, and then filmed half of them on Saturday, filmed half of them on Sunday, as long as daylight allowed, because I also usually wake up pretty late. So there's not that much daylight. And then on Sunday evening, I paid someone to put them in my book, and that worked out. And then on Monday, I published. So I did not really double check any of it because it was kind of like, I want to do that, and I'd rather have mistakes in it than, yeah. It's still kind of like, if I'm in those phases, it's better to be done than perfect.
Get as much out as possible out of this phase, because you're aware that this is a phase and it will get down again.
Yeah, and if I remember, like, as soon, if I really want to do something, if I don't, and then I'm in this low mood phase where I can't get shit done, then I have to kind of wait until
the next time.
until winter is finally gone, or mood winter. And yeah, I mean, like, to be fair, I think in those low phases, those are really reflective phases. And I think that's also necessary. There's phases where you reflect more and sleep more and need more rest. And then there's phases where you get ideas, which is the spring. You get ideas. You're like, ooh, there's some excitement, some stuff building up. Then there's summer. You have energy. You know what you want to do. You're like, I want to do this now. And then there's fall, when you kind of like got a lot of stuff done and you're slowly like, okay, we can slow down now. Beautiful. And then you go back into the reflecting phase. So yeah, I would say that is me. With you, I feel like it's a lot more consistent. At least so far from the time I've known you.
I mean, I have problems with really routines. Like, I always admire people who are able to implement a strict routine, because they're not that disciplined.
Maybe because you're just not that person for that.
Yeah, and I'm starting, or I accepted that already, and it's better with that. So, like, having things implemented but still be flexible around it, probably. As I think you told me also, when you're in these high phases, you nearly even forget to eat, or you're definitely not really cooking when you're focusing on something else. So all the other things are getting separated, maybe a little bit.
Yeah, the priorities are pretty clear. So
and everything else is,
I want to do that.
Yeah,
like everything else has to wait.
Yeah. So and this changes with every phase, with every season, right?
Yeah, although I also have phases in the low phase where I forget.
We know that. We try to feed you.
But to be fair, I think it's also like a neurodivergent thing.
Okay.
Because autism and ADHD.
Okay.
And I think because I know a lot of people who have either or, and they have exactly the same stuff. So I'm kind of like, it's just a different way your brain is wired. And because like, I remember when I was younger, I beat myself up so much for not being disciplined, for not being consistent, for not being able to do things consistently. And at some point I was like, you know what, like I've tried for like, I don't know, 25 years, and I've really tried, and it's not working. So maybe I'm just not the person to do it like some guru guy. And that's another thing, because it's usually like men I've listened to who had like this super disciplined stuff, and they can, because they have a 24-hour hormonal cycle. So every day their energy is replenished, and they can have depressions or like phases. And if they're neurotypical, they can also have that. But still, it's very different to female cycles, because we have like 28-day hormonal cycle in which a lot of things can change, first of all. And then there's also the difference between neurotypicals and neurodivergent people, because neurodivergent people need urgency and novelty, for example, to even get motivated, and they have like different phases. There's also this thing called executive dysfunction, where you want to do stuff but you can't.
And wait till the last minute, is it that?
Kind of, yeah, not, but like that's more procrastination. It's more like you're just not able to do anything that day. So I would consider that more the rest phases, because your body is kind of like, yeah, we have to rest. And with neurotypicals, they have an easier time, I would say, to actually keep a focus, keep a mood. Well, if they have figured out what works for them, then it just works. There's maybe not so much fluctuation.
Yeah, okay.
Maybe. Not too sure about that. I mean, I know my world. I'm not sure if that is just maybe misperception on neurotypicals. So, yeah, the neurotypicals.
For me, it's very impressive and refreshing how clear you are about this, about your phases, and also that you accept those and that you make the most of them and say, yep, now I'm in the high phase and I will use that as good as possible, and now I'm in the low phase and that's okay and it will come back. But I don't push myself because I have to, or because, I don't know, a guru says I have to, or other people say I have to, whatever.
I think it's mostly us ourselves saying that we have to. I think.
Yeah, but also this because of experience, because of your environment, because of the and social environment, and the things you consume as well, that creates a pressure, because with no influence from outside, this wouldn't have been created in your head.
Possibly, yeah. But you always have influence from outside, even
Of
if
course.
it's just your parents.
Of course.
And parents are enough. Even if it's just one parent is enough.
Yeah, no, you can't avoid influence in total. That's true. And yeah, like, this is very interesting for me to see a complete different model of energy and how to use it than myself, for example, or what you're maybe also used to, or what a lot of people are used to. And it works, and it works quite good and very successful with a published book, I would say. And in general, happy person.
Yeah. So because the thing is, like, I've asked her that before, because to me it's a little bit of a mystery. I've had another friend like her who had a similar thing, who would do and get a shit ton of stuff done in a day. And I'm kind of like, I have one task a day and that's enough. It's like, if I have more than one big thing that I need to do, I'm kind of like, yeah, no, I don't know. I feel like I can't focus on more than one very important thing. But you, on the other hand, you found a way for yourself to fill your day and actually have more energy. If I fill my day, I'm kind of like, kill me now. So yeah,
and I enjoy that. And maybe to give an example of how this day could look like, or how this could look like, is at the moment during the day I drop my roommates off at work, probably at 7 o'clock, so get up 6:30, something like this, drop them off, come back, maybe do a bit in the household, go to a cafe, do some remote marketing job, maybe some reflection stuff there as well, answer some messages from friends, then maybe some work on our business, on the Bliss Builders, or especially something hands-on. At the moment, I'm not doing something at my van, but previously I was building out my van a little bit. So adding stuff to that, or going somewhere and organize something, or organize it before, then pick it up, then build on that, go shopping, do dinner, make another washing, spend time with you guys, talk a bit, go for a run, maybe do an English lesson. And so yeah, kind of this stuff, and also sometimes mixed with physical and mental tasks, I would say. And when I reflected on that, what brings me the energy, like I said earlier, it's also the motivation part. So more motivation brings more energy to me. And I would split it into 3 sectors. One is my well-being.
Okay.
So that's the health side. And I will come back to that. The second one is the process itself of the task. And the third one is the excitement about the outcome in the future. So when the task is finished, more or less.
Okay.
Okay, you seem very confused.
So you get a boost when you finish stuff.
Yeah, and this is also very interesting as this, or what I picked up so far from other people, that this is quite often the case, or at least in my bubble.
Mhm.
But once you told me you don't get any boost out of that, you have that stuff is done.
Yeah. No, for me it's mostly, if at all, it's relief
Yeah,
that it's done. An annoyance that I had to do it. It's not, yeah, I don't get a boost, but I think that might be also I think that actually might be also neurotypical thing. Well, neurotypicals get that boost, and neurodivergent people don't necessarily. So that's why it's so
yeah,
important that
okay.
I enjoy the activity while I'm doing it,
The process,
because
yes.
there will be no benefit afterwards. It's like either you have fun in the moment while it is happening. So, for example, sports. If I don't have fun doing the sport while I'm doing it, I don't fucking feel any better afterwards. So I have to have fun while I'm doing it. If I'm, for example, if I do a boring workout because it is supposed to be good for my muscles, or like, some exercise that's supposed to be very good, I will not continue doing it because I will feel pretty much shit during and shit after. So there's no point in that. But if I do something interesting, something like, or keep up the novelty. So if I do a hula hoop, which has some challenge in it, I think challenge is also a thing. If something
you're
needs to be
competitive.
figured, no, if something needs to be figured out, like for example, at the moment we have the piano.
Yeah,
I can't play piano. I don't know anything about notes or anything. But for me, it keeps me there because A, everything is new, everything is novelty, every sound is new, every melody is new. B, if I can hear a melody, and since I can't play notes, and since I'm also not going to look it up, I try to hear the different sounds for the melody. For example, recently I found something that sounded like Harry Potter, and I was like, ooh. So that kind of keeps me going and enjoys.
excitement.
Yeah, like, and then it keeps me doing the task. The same thing like with hula hoop or different weird kind of sports stuff where you have to balance, or at the moment doing
Challenge.
yeah, well, but not competitive with other people. I don't
Yeah,
give a
but
shit about
no,
other
but
people.
competitive with yourself and learning. As this is also something you told me earlier
It's a
today,
learning
that
thing.
you love the learning process. You
Yeah.
love to learn new things. So
Yeah.
also to learn Harry Potter at the piano, or to learn hula hoop dancing or something,
Yeah.
is a challenge for yourself because you can't do it so far. You're not able to do it, but you have the challenge that you want to be able to do it.
Yeah, I wouldn't even say that it's like, oh, I want to be good at that now. It's more the, let's see how far I get. Let's see how far I get. It's more like really being more in
Excited.
the moment, because I was not planning on playing Harry Potter. It just happened, and the same thing like with hula hoop in the beginning. I was like also not planning on getting any further with that. It's just, if I enjoy it, then I will continue doing it, and then I will see, okay, how far can I get? And then at some point, it's like, okay, this is boring now. Goodbye, and then I move on to the next thing that gives me that learning experience that I enjoy very much.
Would you say it come to the point where you stop it when you learned enough?
Yeah, I think there's like an invisible tank, and when that tank is filled up with the feeling of, now I've gotten to a point that I personally deem very well, like, or deem being able to do something very good,
Yeah.
then I stop. When
Because you're
kind of like,
satisfied, and that's
yeah,
fine. And
no,
so
I think it's
box
like,
ticked.
yeah, no, I think it's like a butterfly flying to a flower, and when it got all the honey, nectar, pollen out of the flower, it leaves to the next flower. It doesn't stay there because there's nothing left. So
Or maybe if you use this symbology, there is still some pollen left at the flower. So usually when a butterfly or a bee comes to the flower, it doesn't take everything from this flower, but a little bit from here, a little bit from there, a little bit from here. So usually when the bee is satisfied with this flower, it will continue to the next one, but there is still something left. So like with the piano scale or the hula hoop, there is probably still a range where you could get even better, where you could get professional.
oh, yeah.
But it's fine for you that you reached this level and you say, okay, now I'm satisfied, I can move on.
Yeah.
Yeah, understandable.
Okay.
So the process, I totally agree with you, and especially for keep doing things or getting energy out of it, enjoying the process is very important. As maybe if you have enough energy because of other things, you can still keep going with the process. As I don't know if you had so much fun to record all the videos or do all the scripts or all the scribbles, especially when you do 50 in a row. But you had the goal and you had enough energy out of other things probably that you wanted to finish them and to reach the goal.
I don't think I necessarily get energy from outside. I think it is just happening naturally.
Yeah, I don't say that this energy had to come outside, but out of other things you did maybe earlier, or like that you reached your energy phase, that you were in your energy phase. So this was fine.
I think it's a mental thing. I don't think I get it through doing necessarily.
Yeah, you're definitely more a mental person. We
think
see
you
that.
get it through doing, and I get it through getting myself in the right mental state.
Both. So for example, when like the first sector is the well-being, health, and so one question is, how do I feel at the moment? And do I feel fit? Do I feel fine? So, and I just grabbed my cheat sheet a little bit as I took some notes. It's also, are my basic needs fulfilled? And I'm really talking probably about basic needs. Do I have to pee? Do I have some stomach ache because I have to poo, for example? Am I very tired because I just had 3 hours of sleep? So really basic needs. Is this checked? Is this fine? Then also, how is my physical status? So do I have any pain, for example? Is anything sore? Does some muscle hurts? Or do I have some fatigue? Fatigue. Yeah, thank you. Also this can't rate. So like a little bit of a checkbox. Is this all at a level that's fine, that's okay, or maybe even higher? Is this filled? Am I maybe on a physical boost, but could be when I'm very well rested? So let's say when you had 10 hours of sleep, or when you had longer sleep for a couple of days in a row. Because if I have 10 hours of sleep once and I had just 3 hours of sleep the day before, or like 7 days before, then it's not automatically in balance again, or maybe for a day, but not in total. Or did I do some sports immediately that gave me some high? So when I come back from a run or from a workout, you're maybe still, okay, it seems you're not, but many people are still in this physical boost, in this physical high, like there is the famous runner's high. this can also affect it. How is my mental stage? Am I okay? Is there something? How is my mood? Is my mood maybe affected and I'm in a negative mood and seeing everything a little bit negative at the moment? Or is it usual? And like my normal basic mood is definitely a positive one, maybe a little bit a naive one, some people say. However, I see it very positive. So if this is turned around because of whatever, and this can be also hormones, for example, this also affects it. And yeah, also what we were talking in the beginning, the people around you can be a mood booster, or it can drag you down. So also this plays into the mental health, the mental status. And also, is there something, for example, I worry about at the moment, or is there a problem that is unsolved? And I can really think I can break it down to these two things. Is there something unsolved? Or do I worry about something what comes to the end? So if I ask myself these questions, what I don't do consciously, but if you would like to, get, let's say, a score out of for energy level, I could go through those lists and see, okay, this is fine, this is fine, this is fine, but I had just 5 hours of sleep and I feel it in my body that I'm tired. Or at the moment, like because of the work the last 2 days, I feel it in my neck a little bit and in the lower back. Okay, so this affects me a little bit physically.
Okay.
So everything what affects me from the past and the moment right now until now, this is, let's say, the well-being, the health part.
Okay.
And then the second part is the process when we're talking about. So I totally agree with you. Do I like what I do or what I have to do? Like if you wake up in the morning and you go through your day, I know that I'm much more excited about this day, or that I feel way much more energy if I know that there is, let's say, a dancing class on my schedule, or a Bliss Builders podcast, then a meeting with a very annoying marketing client from my last job. So I think, oh, okay, this will drag me, or this will make me happy. So this affects it. With who I will experience that are the persons around me while I'm doing that, people that I like, people that I align with. Do I feel good with them, or do I, for example, already know that they always complain? Do I already know that they are lazy and I have to do all the work? Do I know that there will be some conflicts and we have to argue because we see differently?
Okay.
Or because I've worked in marketing and project management in an advertising agency before, so maybe for the listeners as orientation, there were some clients that were very easy. So if, let's say, a meeting was on the schedule with them, I think, yeah, that's cool. I don't have to prepare myself too much because it's easy going, easy flow, and we will have a good result. And there were some where I know that this will be very heavy and this will be very annoying, and this will exhaust me. So it depends on the people, and also, for example, the colleagues. When I think about the construction side, we both in our roommate are working at the moment. I'm looking forward to this and to work together way more when we three are working, is if I would have probably other colleagues, because we three are people with common sense and that use their brain in quite a similar way. And so it doesn't matter who of us would fill the skip in. I know with every one of us three, the skip in will be filled very orderly and very effective. So this is also more relaxing for myself, because I don't have to think, okay, I should tell them this and this and that, or I should take over, or I should not worry, don't give a fuck and whatever, because I can just relax and let it go. Is I'm sure it will be good without putting any additional effort in it, because it comes naturally. And so the people you're working with or you're doing something with is also very important for if I can expect, because maybe to get back to the energy, or maybe this is the question that comes up in your head.
Yeah.
I see in your eyes, if I pre-think or I think in advance about the day, if I have in my head, this will be very annoying today again, and I have to think about, and I have to think for the others. This is quite often the case for myself. I have to think for the others that it will be still good. This is very exhausting, and this feels very draining in energy. And without this, if I have like the trust and just can let it go, it feels so much more energetic, because it needs less energy from myself, and it's more fun. Yeah.
Yes.
So this also affects my energy level. What else?
Like, how do you raise up your energy? Because now it's more dependent on the outside circumstances, and we all have that like people and situations can bring us energy or drain us and suck us dry. But what do you do actively to give yourself energy? Because that's what I think I saw.
I changed the circumstances.
But you can't change people.
No, but I can change who I work with, for example.
Okay.
And there we go back into, if this drains me too much, and maybe I don't can pick my colleagues, but I can pick my job. I can't probably pick, let's say, if I'm sore, like in my neck or my lower back, this is something that just happened because of the work yesterday. I mean, I could prevented it maybe, but I can do exercises to make it better.
Okay.
I'm in a negative mood, whatever, and I know some little things that helps me to get in a more positive mood again.
Okay, what are those things?
Okay, I've brought something with me. I've written down, because I also sometimes forget this, or think, what do I do? I've written down, I think it's 50 things that brings me some joy.
Okay, that sounds interesting.
And I have this in little snippets, exactly, and have this in the pocket. I never used it. That's very funny. With a lot of exercises, I prepare them and then I don't use it because I already inhaled it that intense that I don't even need them.
Yeah, I mean, like, you don't physically need to do something if you already have it integrated in your mind. But
Exactly. And for me, it's quite often little things. But if
Can I pull some?
you like, you can have a look in there, and
Can I read them out loud?
you can have a look what's on it. But
Yeah,
I think so. Mostly. Yeah, it's interesting.
Okay, the feeling of being needed
Yeah.
and to kind of like benefit other people's and other people's well-being and um, add to their lives, add value to their lives. So those are like 50 things that bring you joy. Is that what I?
Yeah. Yeah. So with this, to get this into practice, for example, I can think about people that are important for me around me, and can think about what could I do to bring them a little bit of joy.
Yeah.
And the last day I ordered some flowers for a friend, for example, and I've written a very long text message of appreciations to my parents, because I thought, I haven't done this for a long time.
Yeah.
And this actually also brought me a lot of energy.
Yeah. Which like I just saw like having a good atmosphere, a nice environment, and it just reminded me that I don't know, I saw a post recently that flowers, so she collects a lot of flowers and she puts flowers and plants everywhere, and that flowers collected flowers or living plants are not only looking good, but literally are statistically and scientifically proven to improve people's mood in the room.
Mood booster.
Yeah, no, to like calm them down, even if they did not get the flowers, and even if they themselves like it still affects us, kind of like, yeah, their presence affects us, and it is a mood booster.
It's because of nature.
Yeah,
if I remember it right, because there is all places, I'm not 100% sure, but I think I remember that there is also a study that says it affects our mood quite positively when you're out in nature. And this is part of a recipe in a lot of well-being recipes.
Yeah, because it's, for example, there's grounding, fresh
exactly.
air, exercise, because if you're walking through nature,
Exactly.
exercise, daylight, sunlight.
Yeah.
Vitamin
D.
Yeah,
Thanks.
so it has a lot of positive effects. Also because grounding is nothing else than you releasing certain negative ions or positive ions into the ground, balancing stuff out. There's a lot of theory, like, yeah, look it up. I've forgotten most of the theory behind it, but it's shown to improve also your digestive system. It's shown to calm you down. There's like a lot of things about it that show the benefits of being in nature.
Yeah, and so with
having nature
plants,
around,
exactly, with plants and flower bouquets or whatever, you can bring a little bit of them inside. And like I say, also, like I said, I think there is a study, if you have like a living plant on your desk, on your working desk, that can make a difference already. Also with daylight lights, but I actually hate them because I don't like white light. But anyway, so yeah, also with the, and this was also now on a snippet with the atmosphere. Yeah, like atmosphere and a good mood affects me personally a lot, and this is also on the list of the process. Do I enjoy the environment I'm in? Is it makes a difference for me if I'm sitting, let's say, in a white room, and there is a desk, there is a chair, there is my laptop, pen and paper, like one paper and one pen, for example, or if I'm in a nice setup. I have maybe plants, I have different colors, and I have my notebook, and I have the things that make me feel comfortable and cozy. Or if I'm at the cafe around the corner, for example, I know that I will be very more productive and very more creative in this environment than in the naked room. And this is also a reason why I do this details quite often, quite a lot, because of this case, because I can function better in this environment. So I try to create this environment for me as good as possible. And also the effectiveness, that's also on my list. The self effectiveness, where you can see an outcome easier and quicker, let's say, because this would be the last sector in the outcome, in the goal. So it's about how excited I am about the goal. Is this something that moves me personally or not? How reachable is this goal, and how soon? So is it very challenging, and is it hard to get there? So you can maybe get into some frustration on your way to it, or is it easier to achieve? Or are there at least some steps in between, so you can get a feeling of success and achievement quite quick, quite early? And also, do you see a difference? Do you see the outcome? And I would say it can be both, but I'm a very visual type and like see it physically, not numbers only, but also some physical change maybe moves me quite often a bit more or quicker. And this is probably also why I do all these little things, because you can see a change, you can see the outcome quite easy and quick. While, for example, with my marketing job, it's hidden in the computer, it's hidden in some graphics or some numbers or the mood of clients, however you want to see. But a bricklayer sees the result of his work in the end of the day, or we see it at our work as well. So this is also very satisfying for me personally to see the outcome. And all this together, if you put this into one bucket, affects how high my energy level is. And by changing those things, all these steps, or make a move on them, I can adapt my energy. And probably this is also a little bit of the recipe why I'm quite high in energy the whole time, because I have so many different things that are in this energy recipe, that even if one of them is not here, it doesn't matter, because there are so many others that balances it out.
Okay, so that is your process, kind of.
It's not an active process. Not that I go through all that and see, okay, this is tick, this not. Okay, so now I'm at 70% of my energy level.
Okay.
But if you ask me why are you so energized at the moment, for example, I could say, okay, I'm fine. There are no mental issues at the moment. I'm fit, but I have a little bit, my lower back hurts a little bit and my neck. So this drags down a little bit of energy. And also it's raining at the moment. This is drags also a little bit. So from 100% the lower back, and this 5% with the rain, we have other 10%. So minus 15 maybe. And the other things, I would say they're all fine. I love to work with you, and I know it's efficient. So the people around me are fine. I'm excited about the outcome. I'm excited about this podcast, and I enjoy it while I'm doing it in the process. So 75%. No, 85. Is this more more clear for you? No, or
a little bit. It's very different than expected. I thought that there's like certain tasks that you do that bring you joy every time.
And this is probably why I'm so flexible with it, because it's not that I need to do exactly this or that. It's more about the principles behind.
Okay. All right. Yeah. So if you would summarize it, what would be a few points that you would give to listeners, what to watch out for and what to pay attention to get yourself into a better state?
Self-awareness, I would say, is the most important thing in the beginning. To be aware and be conscious what kind of person you are. If you're maybe a face person, and probably with reflection on the past, this can be quite good.
A face person?
Yeah, you have energy faces. Not face, but
like... Okay, yeah.
Energy a seasonal person. Energy seasons. I like this. Energy seasons are quite good. We should definitely implement that. Energy seasons. Or if do you have any idea how you would describe my energy type?
Your energy type. Well, as I said, I had a misconception where I thought that you literally just did certain, like that you did certain things.
Process A, B, C, and then you got...
Yeah, like that it was like, okay, so if I go every day to the like, that's what was my perception.
Yeah.
Like if I go to the cafe every day, I have my coffee, and then I'm in a good mood, and then things are done. And I don't know, I thought kind of like stuff like that you have certain tasks or certain very specific things, and if they are followed, then mood is good, energy is high. That's what I thought. But what I've realized is it's not too different from me, in the sense that it's literally just about awareness, being aware of your needs.
Yeah.
Making the best out of every situation.
Yeah.
Taking care of yourself.
Yeah.
And also thinking positively about things. For example, instead of already expecting bad outcomes or already kind of like looking for the bad stuff, looking for the good stuff, looking for the stuff like how would you ideally like it to go, and then focusing on that instead of and that way building up your energy.
Yeah, that's
how I would summarize it, and not like I thought that you, I don't know, have a magic coffee or something.
Sorry, no, I don't have a ritual that brings me back, because this is in so many kind of recipes included. Get yourself a ritual that cheers you up again. This doesn't really work for me. Not like a strict recipe, so I like to have a strict ritual. So I like to have
flexibility.
Exactly, flexibility. And that's also a very nice summary you did now, is both very different types, but actually what gives us energy, or how we can get energy back, is the same, or the same in
similar,
same in the nucleus.
Just that mine is not necessarily consistent.
Exactly.
Because in my winter season, I can do those things and they won't change. And in my spring summer season, I barely have to do them, and I will be already up here. So
Naturally.
yeah. Okay.
Cool.
I think that's it for today. Is there
All
anything
right.
else?
I think no, that's all good, because you did the summary I also prepared. So that's perfect.
Okay.
All
Well,
right.
thanks for listening.
Thank you very much. It was very interesting. And happy to talk to you soon again.
Okay. Bye.